Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to World of Tanks, the mighty Jingles. Today's battle, I'm fairly sure it's going to rub a lot of you up the wrong way, but bear with me here. This is the Grey Goose is loose, or just Grey Goose is loose, no the. He's in a tier 9 battle here on Muravanka in the Russian, it's an oldie but it's a goldie, tier 8 heavy tank, the IS-3. This thing's been in the game since launch. Back in the day, even when it wasn't top tier, this was a tank that commanded respect. Those days, yeah, it's been a long time since that was true. I mean, as a top tier, tier 8 heavy, this is still a fearsome opponent. But only when it's top tier these days. Power creep is very definitely a thing in World of Tanks. And what the hell's going on with this turret? Is that yet another replay bug? Well, at least 6th sense isn't going off. So pay careful attention here, see what happens. Because I'm fairly sure his turret shouldn't be pointing in that direction. Yeah, there it is. It's another replay bug. Alright, never mind. So, Grey Goose is loose in the IS-3. Tier 8 Russian heavy tank, tier 9 battle, here on Muravanka. Today's battle is something of a redemption arc, by which I mean it's been a long time since I saw somebody have as miserable a start to a game as Grey Goose is going to experience here. Basically, pretty much everything that could possibly go wrong is going to go wrong, and yep, some of it's going to be his own fault, but some of it not. However, when the chips are down and the shit hits the fan, oh boy, like I said, you're about to witness a fairly epic redemption arc. You're also about to witness one of the rarest medals that World of Tanks has to offer. Oh, you are never going to get through the turret of that thing. Hull down Emil 2, only the turret visible? It's not even worth it. It's just a waste of ammunition. He's going to try it. Yeah, didn't even hit. And even if it had hit, there is absolutely no way an IS-3 is penetrating the turret of a hull-down Emil 2 from the front. It's just a waste of ammunition. Like I said, some of the issues that Grey Goose has... Okay, that one I don't know. That's one of those new British double-barreled heavies, isn't it? I've no idea what the stats on that thing are. I have absolutely no clue if the turret can even be penetrated from the front. But it clearly didn't happen there. Also, what's going on with the names of these things? The contradictions. That's not even a word. It's like Wargaming sat down for a strokey beard meeting one day at World of Tanks headquarters and said, right, new British heavy tanks, double-barreled. What are we going to call them? Well, British tanks. Names all start with C's, don't they? Chieftain, Challenger, Carnarvon. Well, as long as we're making the tanks up, we may as well make up the names as well. So they just picked a whole bunch of words that sounded like words but aren't actually words and all started with the letter C. I mean, contradictious? What the? No, it's not even a word. Contradiction? Yes. Contradictious? No. Whatever. Wargaming. You so silly. At the moment, things aren't actually going too badly. Both teams have 2 kills, 8 point totals. At least as far as they were last reported at the top of the screen. There's not that much of a difference between the two teams. And Grey Goose, I mean, he's not in a terrible position. But he's not in a great position either. He's relatively safe here. Kind of. Right, until the Either 16 just popped one right through what looked like either his turret roof. Yeah. See, the Either 16 can do that because it's got the accuracy, and surprisingly for such a low profile machine it actually has the gun depression. But as you can quite clearly see here, trying to do the same thing in return, the IS-3 does not have the gun depression. It certainly doesn't have the accuracy. Okay, that's some actual damage blocked. Nice. You can see he took it on the gun mantlet, which is pretty good on this thing. It's just that it's not even really armour on the turret roof, that sort of panel right behind the gun. That's exactly what the Udas was aiming for, and where it hit him the first time. Meanwhile, things are not going terribly well anymore. The enemy team were actually 2 kills ahead, but somebody managed to pull one back. But they're starting to develop a fairly dangerous hit point advantage. You know, when this tank was introduced, it absolutely terrified the West. It was actually developed and put into service in 1944, although too late to see combat. And the first time the West collectively actually saw one of these things was at the 1945 Victory Day parade in Berlin. It was at the time where the West were kind of starting to lose interest in the idea of heavy tanks, and instead were going after the main battle tank concept, tanks like the Centurion being the perfect example. And then at that Victory Day parade, they all clapped eyes on this thing and collectively shit their pants, because the West basically had nothing to compete with the IS-3. Or so they thought. I mean, look at the thing. It's a behemoth. The unveiling of this tank at that Victory Day parade in 1945 led to such a state of panic in Western military tank design that they resurrected heavy tank projects and led directly to the development of tanks like the M103 and the Conqueror, which were good tanks, and certainly not quite the waste of money in development time that people claim, but they weren't actually needed, because while the IS-3 was awesome on paper, in reality it was a bit of a paper tiger. If ever there was a tank that was just, well, too far ahead of its time, the IS-3 was probably it, because as designed, the IS-3 was amazing, but as constructed, with the limitations of 1940s actual tank construction technology, it was horrible. Unreliable, expensive, and just not very good. The USSR would have been a lot better off just building a lot more T-54s and T-55s. Thing is, the West weren't worried about the T-55s because they were busy developing the L7 105mm anti-tank gun, which was comfortably able to handle tanks like the T-55, but what they didn't know was whether or not it could handle tanks like the IS-3, which led to the development of 120mm gun-armed tanks like the Conqueror and like the M103. So in that respect, you could argue that the IS-3, even though in practice it wasn't actually that good, it served its purpose. Hey, 6.5 minutes into the battle, Grey Goose has just scored his first kill. There's still 3 kills behind, of course. The enemy team have doubled the hit points, but he scored his first kill. And now they're 4 kills behind. Oh well, every silver lining has a cloud and all that. And he's also just run through his last round of regular armor-piercing ammunition. He's on the premium now, he's only got 7 shots. And if he exhausts all of that, he's down to 3 shots of high explosive. 3 kills behind again, and the enemy team have double the remaining hit points of his team, although that's mostly down to the E50, who's slightly to the rear of Grey Goose and is a one-shot kill to, well, the first enemy tank that so much as catches a glance at him. There he is back there. Grey Goose takes another hit. It's all gold ammo at this point in the battle, of course. Took a couple of hits from the Barask that he could have done without. Be nice to get another kill. No, and you're not going to get it by doing that. You can see what he was trying to do. He got the immobilization off, but it didn't penetrate the tracks and actually damage the hull. And now there's only him and the E50 left, and they don't even have 600 hit points between the two of them. E50 managed to get a kill, though. Grey Goose circling around, trying to get another one. Nope, he knows he's there. He's taking cover behind the dead Emil. And the E50 is down, but he sees the shot under the wreck of the Emil, and boom, there it is. He's got him. Grey Goose has 7 shots left, and he has to kill another 4 tanks and do 3,000 damage with these 7 shots. Yes, okay, he's got the Barask. Bounce the shot from the SU-101. He's got plenty of concealment here, lots and lots, well, it's not concealment, cover, lots and lots of dead tanks. And then his, yeah, there goes the spider sense. That's the Judas behind him, but he's got him. Still got the SU-101 over there. No sign of the 703. Was last spotted all the way over to the east in the Magic Forest, but you can bet he's coming this way. He needs to kill the 101 before the 703 gets here. The 703 just needs the 101 to stay alive until he can get here, and the SU-101 completely fails. All he had to do was stay in cover and wait, which is bad news for the 101 and the 703, but it's great news for Grey Goose. However, what is not good news, if you look at the hit point totals at the top of the screen, is that the 703, he has triple the health that Grey Goose has. And Grey Goose just fired his last round of armor-piercing ammunition. The 703, by the way, is basically an IS-3, except with 2 guns instead of 1. And Grey Goose does have the health advantage. However, he only has high explosive ammunition. And if you're doing you're going to need to do better than 92 damage per hit. Fortunately, I don't know if it's because of his gun depression or the 703 is just panicking. He keeps donking every single shot that he has straight into the front of Grey Goose's turret. Grey Goose has one shot left. He has to make this count. And he does, scoring his... Well, that's the Top Gun, isn't it? His 6th kill with 3,300 damage done. And of course, because he was the last tank left on his team, against 5 or more enemies, that's of course the extremely rare and not very easy to get Kolobanov's medal. There's a steel wall in there as well to go with the Top Gun for blocking more than 4,000 damage with his armour and surviving the battle. But the extremely rare award is the first one listed there. No, not the Ace Tanker. That's a Fadin's medal. And the only way to get that is to destroy the last tank on the enemy team and win the battle with the last round of ammunition left in your tank. The Fadin's medal is basically, if this shot doesn't penetrate and do damage and get me a kill, I am screwed award. And it's probably even more rare than the Kolobanov's medal. So, well done to Grey Goose's loose. Like I said, a bit of a redemption arc. The first half of that battle was absolutely miserable. Pretty much everything that could possibly go wrong did go wrong. Some of it his fault, but some of it not. But what a way to pull a carry out of your arse at the end. Extremely well done. Congratulations on the awards. Hope you all enjoyed watching him achieve them, because that's it for today. And as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.